welcome to my YouTube channel. Of course, you seeing me, Rasa the dancer. And I'm in this beautiful park. I was jogging, and then I was exercising, and then I was stretching, and I thought it's a perfect timing to do a little video for you. Any chance I get, I try and make videos for you. So sad and yet so happy. Anyway, this one is gonna be specifically for ladies' arms, okay? So anytime, ladies, you are styling, you're probably wondering what is the right technique, what do you need to do? So this one is gonna be a generic one for salsa and bachata. It's not gonna specifically go into the details, but it's gonna tell you exactly what you need to do in order to make your arm styling more beautiful and more comfortable. So stick around, you're gonna get your 5 tips how to make sure that your arms are ready to style for dancing. Okay, so tip number 1 is really important, stretching your arms. Now, a lot of the times, you're probably wondering why I'm practicing so much and it doesn't look as good as, let's say, the professional girl that you've been following, yes? And that is probably because physically your body is not capable to do the beautiful styling that she's doing. All you need to do is stretch and then you'll be just fine. There's many kind of stretches that you need to do for your arms, okay? The first one, most importantly, is the shoulder one. So let's say you do stretches like this where you bring the hand in and you press down, yes? Stretches like this when you bring the hand across and then you hold here. Also really important to do rotations. So rotations forwards, rotations backwards, yes? Opening the chest, closing the chest. All of these exercises are extremely crucial. Shoulders up and down, shoulder rotations in general, yes? These are very important because once you stretch these points of your shoulders, then when you do your arm styling, let's say raising the hands up, instead of looking like this, you will look like this. There's a huge difference just because physically your shoulders are more capable of different kinds of positions. And a lot of the arm styling from down upwards, let's say, it all comes from shoulder rotation. Here, down and shoulder rotation. If you cannot do the shoulder rotation, the arm is gonna look a little bit flat. So you will never like what you see. Does that make sense? So you gotta do your exercises, and if you wanna see some stretches that would be really useful, there's gonna be a video that you can look up below in the comment box, and there are some stretches there that I'm gonna be talking about. But that is a very, very crucial point. Point number 1, stretch and rotate those shoulders in order for your arm styling to look more beautiful. I'm getting shy, I think. All right, tip number 2, a lot of people stretch the shoulders, but they forget that the arms are not just the shoulders. It is extremely important to focus on your wrists and on your fingers, okay? So you need to not only stretch as well the wrist by rotating in many different directions, you also, I think I've been being bitten. You see what I do for love for you? In the middle of the woods, being bitten. It's worth it. Anyway, where were we? Wrists and fingers, right? A lot of people forget, and they have amazing movement in the arms, and the fingers and the wrists are dead, right? So you gotta make sure you rotate those wrists in order for them to be a little bit more flexible, and also for your brain to be able to use the wrist in many different positions and rotations. The other thing what you need to do is stretch your fingers. A lot of the time, if you try to do this exercise where you only collect one finger at a time, a lot of the times people can't even do it, right? Because you've never used your fingers in that way. So you gotta stretch your fingers in many other positions as well. And of course, doing one finger at a time. So then when you do styling with the arms, it's not just the arms, you can do styling with every single finger, right? You can make little positions with what's happening, you know, the flamenco arms and everything. You can do so many beautiful things in many different kinds of dancing, but you gotta as well work those wrists and work the fingers. So not just the arms, wrists and the fingers. That's my tip number 2. Third very important point is to make sure that anything that you practicing with the arms, you first practicing with the basic steps. If you try and do a lot of arm styling with a really complicated foot pattern, then it's really difficult to focus on the arms. But if you actually do just a basic step, if bachata, for example, just the basic step, you try to do maybe the rotation of the arm, maybe separation of the arm, yes? If you're doing a salsa basic step, you again trying maybe to do the rotations first. Then maybe just a basic right hand with some arm positioning. Does that make sense? So you want to make sure that you practice all of your arm styling on the most common basic steps first. So then you know that you can do the 2 things at once, right? You take your feet and you move your arms in different positions. And then when you can do any basic step and do some complicated arm styling on the basics, you can start upgrading your game. But don't do a mistake and try to do a really complicated routine with your feet and then style with your arms. There's no point in doing that. Do the basic step and then practice all of your beautiful arm styling on that basic step that you know in and out. It will be so much easier to build confidence as well. So you can try it on the dance floor. Yeah? This tip number 4 is extremely important. You have to practice things in front of the mirror. A lot of the time I talk to a lot of ladies and they are saying, oh my God, I don't want to see myself in the mirror. I don't look good. I don't like looking at myself in the mirror. But that is exactly why you are supposed to do so. When you are practicing arm styling, how do you know that you're doing the right thing? Yeah? You gotta see what it looks like in order to know what you're fixing. Also, you have to get used to seeing yourself and you have to get used to understanding what do you like and what you don't. So when you look at yourself and you don't like something, don't be like, no, I am so bad. Think about it more like, okay, so I don't like this part. How can I change it so that actually that would be appealing for me? And you start tweaking things. So don't look at yourself and think, oh my God, this is a disaster. Think about it as an experience of, okay, so now I see this and that, and I will be tweaking it this way because I prefer it this way. And if I position my hand like this, oh, that's actually better. And that's how you start working on yourself and your body. Does that make sense? It's really, really important. So the tip number 4 for you is get a good mirror. If you can't get a full body mirror, I'm a mirror addict, so I shouldn't even probably be giving advice on this. But if you can't get a full body mirror, get at least where you can see half of your body. So if you can't see your feet, at least you get to see your arms and you get to see your body movement. It's very important. And it's really good to have a big mirror to get ready for going out anyway. And then maybe spend 15 minutes before you go out in front of the mirror like this, and then like this, and then like, maybe not. I cannot believe we're at the final point at our tip number 5, and that is a really simple tip. Basically, you want to go to as many classes as you can and learn as much styling as possible, but you gotta remember that not all styling is for you. Styling is supposed to be technique based, but it's supposed to be something that comes from within. A lot of the things that we learn, it usually doesn't feel right only because it isn't. It's not necessarily your thing. Some styling is a little bit more sexy. Some styling is a little bit more conservative. Some of it is based maybe on ballet training, so it's going to be a little bit more graceful. Some may be on more ballroom training, so it's going to be a bit more expressive. So it really depends on the personality. If I don't necessarily think I am like into all the sexy things, touching and everything, of course, if that's the type of styling I'm gonna learn, I'm not gonna feel comfortable doing it, even if I'm doing it technically correct. Or the same if like I'm learning only like contemporary arms, but inside I'm dying, I'm a spicy tomato ready to explode. Of course I will want something more, and it's just never gonna be enough. So you gotta remember, to learn everything is crucial, because then your body is capable of expressing itself in a better way. But in the end of the day, any class you attend and any technique that you learn, you gotta pick and choose what is best for you. You gotta pick the styling for your personality. And then of course, mix it up something that is a little bit more expronto, and I promise you, you will find your way and your styling will be so much better. And this is it. We finished with this video, and I hope you found it useful. Remember, arm styling is a complicated thing. You gotta stretch the shoulders first, you gotta rotate your wrist, you gotta stretch your fingers, and only when your physicality is different and you go to the class and you start learning other stuff, only then it is actually easier to do the arm styling. So now, if you do want any specific arm styling, actual moves that I can teach you, then you gotta leave a comment below, because if there's no interest, why should I do it? Why should I make a video that there's no interest on? So if you wanna get some arm styling in general, please leave a comment below. And if you are a guy who's watching this video, good for you. Spread the word. And if you want to learn maybe some footwork or some men's styling, well, believe me, I got something for you. But you gotta leave the comments. Guys, subscribe to my YouTube channel, ring a little bell, and I guess I will see you soon. Maybe in a different location.